Hey, what's up everyone? Josh's Custom Builds here. I'm here with my personal Tokyo Marui G18c builds. As some of you may know, the Tokyo Marui G18c is one of my favorite platforms. It's what got me into airsoft teching around 11 years ago. The thing about the Tokyo Marui G18c is while it is a great platform, it is also one of the most tricky and finicky platforms to get working properly. In today's video, what I want to do is show you what I run in my personal Tokyo Marui G18c and how you may remediate some common issues with your Tokyo Marui Glock, what you should upgrade, what you shouldn't, and I'm also going to do a little bit of a shooting test later in this video. So let's get right into this. I'm going to drop the mag. I'll try not to make this too long for you guys. We're going to get into the upper first. I'll basically start with the upper, then go to the lower. You get the gist of that. So in the upper, what we're running is not edge, I was about to say edge because I'm so used to high kappa parts now. A Guns Modify blowback housing unit. Guns Modify is actually one of the companies who is in edge along with Airsoft Masterpiece. But this is a Guns Modify lightweight blowback housing for the Glocks. The Tokyo Marui one is rather heavy, so this will increase your gas efficiency a bit with that lighter weight. I'm also running a Guns Modify nozzle in here along with a stock Tokyo Marui piston head. I am not a huge fan of the Guns Modify purple piston heads. I feel like it actually decreases your gas efficiency. I used to like the green dynamic precision piston heads. Those of you who have been teching for a while will know exactly what I'm talking about. Those dynamic precision piston heads were awesome, but you can't really find them much anymore, which is unfortunate. But the stock ones work just fine. I'm also running a Guns Modify 125% recoil spring in here. For the slide itself, I should have told you that at first. This is a PGC slide and PGC barrel. Those are my absolute go-tos for Tokyo Marui. The hop-up setup, I have a maple leaf hop-up, PDI 113mm inner barrel, and LA Kappa Customs green flat hop bucking. I love these buckings. I think they're absolutely great. I run them on my high kappas, basically every single GBB pistol that I own. And just for a recoil spring setup, we have the normal guide rod with a Guns Modify 125 recoil spring. I'm also running, like I said, that 125 nozzle spring, and as you'll see in the frame, I'm running the Guns Modify 125 hammer springs. Guns Modify makes really great springs for Glocks. I wouldn't recommend going anything over a 125 for your recoil or hammer springs, just because that will decrease gas efficiency, and for your hammer especially, cause the hammer to break quicker. So for our hammer assembly, what I'm running is a WE hammer that I gave a little bit of a polish to, along with the Guns Modify ball bearing rotor. The normal Tokyo Marui G18c has that triangular style rotor on the hammer, which really damages your BBU, especially if you're running a lightweight one. It'll get scratched up a lot. As you can see in my BBU, there are a little bit of scratches from when I was running that, but I did polish my BBU ramps. That used to be called the IPSC mod. I just call it polishing your BBU. But the WE hammer, I was very hesitant to use these at first because back in the day, WE hammers used to be very brittle, but it seems like they use a much better material nowadays for their hammer. And you can use the ball bearing rotors right out of the box, which is a lot better for the 18C in my opinion. So I'm running that with the stock Tokyo Marui full auto sear that I just gave a little bit of a polish to. Inside of the hammer assembly, I'm running the stock Tokyo Marui sear. The stock trigger bar as well, because the garter ones are not very good, and neither the Guns Modify ones. With the WE hammer, you will have to file down the little ramp on your trigger bar that catches onto your sear, or else you will fire full auto and semi. There's a really good video that came out about that around 10 or so years ago. I can link it in the comments down below. But you will have to shave that down a little bit if you're using a WE hammer. If you're using a stock TM hammer, you won't have to. But I'm using a stock TM sear because there's nothing wrong with it. A stock TM valve knocker because there's also nothing wrong with that. Inside, I believe I'm running the normal stock valve knocker spring that I just bent forward a little bit to give it a little bit, to put it under a little bit more pressure and make it stronger. The hammer, like I said, is the WE hammer, and I paired that with the Guns Modify 125% hammer spring. I paired it with the 125 hammer spring because with the stock Tokyo Marui hammer spring, there was some light striking on the magazine. And here is just a functional Glock hammer for the 18C. I'm going to show you what that looks like. You should be able to pull your trigger back, disconnect the trigger bar and sear. Hear one click, which is the sear connecting to the hammer. That's your normal semi-auto sear. And then you should hear another click, which is your full auto sear. And then you can disconnect your full auto sear, and that just works while the gun is cycling. Up front, I have a normal Tokyo Marui chassis with the TM slide lock, the slide release, excuse me. Nothing really, you don't really need to upgrade these unless you like the extended one. I have the stock Tokyo Marui trigger spring as well that I did bend a little bit so my sear would catch on the hammer better. I also have a TTI trigger in the frame, which is really, really great. I love the TTI trigger. The pull is amazing. If you can see here, a little bit of pre-travel, nice clean break, and the reset is awesome as well. The frame, I'm running a garter frame with a beaver tail I just bought off of Amazon, along with a magwell. I've had this magwell for almost 10 years. I really don't know what it is. It may be UAC. I'm not entirely sure. Up front, we do have a TLR1 repro. This isn't a real TLR1, it's a repro. I don't really think there's a need to run a real TLR1 in airsoft guns. There's not much recoil. So that's basically what is inside of my Tokyo Marui Glock 18C. If you are building a Tokyo Marui Glock 18C, I would run it stock for as long as you possibly can, because it is a very good pistol stock, I will tell you that. If you're not running duster, if you're running normal green gas, your plastic slide will crack up front. Tokyo Marui, let me get this in focus here. So this is where your plastic slide will crack. Tokyo Marui used to use an ABS plastic slide just like this one, but they have recently upgraded to a new polymer slide on their Gen 5 MOS model, which I am excited to try out. So, if you do decide to upgrade your Tokyo Marui Glock 18C, the first thing I would recommend is the slide. You want to get a PGC slide. The slide from PGC is great. It's basically drop-in. It has been for years. You want to get a Guns Modify 125 recoil spring, like I said. The blowback housing, you don't really need to upgrade that, but if you want to, make sure to get the version 2 from Guns Modify. The version 1 has some piston issues. Make sure to get the version 2, and you can give the little ramps here a polish. That will help with cycle rate with your hammer. I would highly, highly recommend getting a new WE hammer, because like I said, that triangular rotor the Tokyo Marui's comes with is just not great for your BBU. It will really, really mess it up. You see that in a lot of Action Army AAP01s with those triangular rotors, and I always recommend this ball bearing style for those as well. I would also recommend you polish your hammer rails just for a bit smoother cycling. Other than that, you should just put in a 125 hammer spring as well, just because the 125 hammer spring, if you're using green gas, you won't experience those light strike issues, especially in the first couple of shots. I do want to show you a cool thing about the version 2 and version 1 Guns Modify blowback housings. I actually do have an American flag backplate on here, which you don't really see much anymore. I got this, I believe, in 2013. I don't know if they make them anymore. I just think it's a really cool touch on this Glock. It shows, you know, how long I've been around working on these things. If you are going to build your own Glock 18C, don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions on either here or Instagram. I absolutely love this platform and helping people out with this platform. Even if you need to send it over, I will not hesitate to fix it for you. Let's get into the shooting test here. I'm going to load up a Tokyo Marui stock magazine. I'm going to try out the 9-ball gas route seal to see if it increases gas efficiency, because I really like it on VSC mags. Just one more note before we get into the shooting test. I don't like VFC mags for the 18C, especially if you're going to be using a garter frame. I think I showed this to you guys, but if not, I do have a garter frame on here. If you see, when I insert this, there's a lot of wiggle room with this magazine, if you can hear it. And that's an issue because this does not properly seal with the nozzle. So your slide will not lock back, first of all, and second of all, you have very, very inconsistent shots, unlike the stock Tokyo Marui magazine that fits in perfectly with no play. I believe Wii magazines are also fine to work with these. I had an older WE magazine and it worked well with my 18C. So without further ado, let's get into the shooting test. Alright guys, so we are in front of my BB catch here. I have the Tokyo Marui Glock 18C loaded up with 10.25 gram BBs. Let's put some through the chronograph. Pretty nice. Let me load up some more and we will shoot some full auto. Alright, I have about half a mag loaded up here. Let's put some through the chronograph first. So about 16 RPS. I think we got a couple left. Oh, that's the last one. Alright, not bad. As you could see at the chronograph, there was a consistent decrease, which is expected in FPS, but around 285 with 0.25 gram BBs, that's not bad at all. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that little shooting test. Around 285 feet per second with 0.25 gram BBs is not bad. For a pistol like this, shoots a lot faster than the stock Tokyo Marui Glock 18C does. Before I ended the video, I just wanted to show you guys the stock rotor that the Tokyo Marui Glock 18C comes with, and a lot of Action Army AAP01s. As you can see, that's triangular, and it does wear your BBU over time, so just be wary of that. In this particular Tokyo Marui Glock 18C, I have around 1,000 rounds out of it, and I have not had any issues with that WE hammer. If it does end up breaking, I'm probably just gonna buy another one, because I really do like it with that ball bearing rotor, and I think that will definitely help the efficiency if you're 18C if you do it properly. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful for your Tokyo Marui Glock 18C build. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, make sure to let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.